Look at these athletes here, the peak of their performance. They would wreck almost anyone in a one-on-one situation, but when they're caught up in the moment and they're working within their framework, whether that be boxing, whether that be grappling, the second something takes them out of it and they become angered, it changes. Years of training and skill go out the window and they instead go into a primal instinct response. Why is this? Why does this happen? There's an old maxim in the martial arts world: when you raise your temper, lower your fists, and when you raise your fists, lower your temper. How does that translate over when it comes to a trained fighter getting into an angry brawl versus a match fight, a sport fight, or whatever other term you want to affix to competitive martial arts? I'm Jay Cooper, and in this week's reality check, we're going to look at elite level martial artists and combat athletes and see how their skill set translates over when the poop hits the swirly thing.
Fight broke out. Incredible conclusion to round number one. Carl Milliken, the referee, they go at it again. There were still several seconds to go. It seemed like a long round. There's the bell, and now some extra work. Oh, a little kickboxing by Elijah Tillery. Bo won't stand for that. Rock Newman, the manager of Riddick Bowe, and a tag team comes in, and Elijah Tillery does a 360, a spill out of the ring.
What's up? Where's my rematch, buddy?
Shields' team, unhappy about the confrontation, took matters into their own hands during the emotional time.
Wow. Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Not. What the? This is my only concern. Yeah. My God.
Gentlemen, we're on national television. Gentlemen, we're in national television. We are going to step away right now on CBS. Back right after this.
Oh, slacked him.
Oh, shit.
Look at it, it comes in with a flying kick. Insane. He's bloodied up too.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah, look.
Oh my God, one straight in the mouth.
Allow him to kick me and punch me. Come on.
Also in the heavyweight division, Herbie Hyde hardly welcomed London-born Michael Bent back with open arms.
Come back.
So as you can see, when we're looking at these, you've got people that are boxers that will wrestle and kick. You've got grapplers that will box and slap. And you've got athletes that are trained to perform under highly stressful, combative conditions, defaulting to brawling, spitting, clawing, raking, and anything else that they can do. What does this tell us about the reality of combat? Everyone always usually says, if you're not sparring, you're not going to work well under pressure. If you're not performing with an art that has an element of competition or resistance against it, you're not going to perform well under pressure. I can't actually disagree with any of those statements. If you train under pressure, you will fight under pressure. That's undeniable. But as is always the case, there are caveats, there are qualifiers, and there are important things to consider. The physical dimension in martial arts, in combat, in self-defense is always the easiest thing to take care of. Look at these athletes here, the peak of their performance. Fit, dangerous. They would wreck almost anyone in a one-on-one situation when the terms are those to dictate. But when they're caught up in the moment and they're working within their framework, whether that be boxing, whether that be grappling, the second something takes them out of it and they become angered, the second something comes in that forces them to go off their game plan, it changes. Years of training and skill go out the window and they instead go into a primal instinct response. Why is this? Why does this happen? I wish there was a simple explanation, but there's not. But let me offer you some insight. When you're training for a specific discipline, you train within the rules. Boxing is perhaps the most obvious example of this. You can punch. You can't kick, you can't grapple, you can't hit below the waist. All the stuff that we normally then say makes it a sport versus a self-defense situation. Leaving aside the fact that most fights involve punches on the street, a boxer will punch when someone is punching back at them. They'll aim to hit and not get hit. But the second there's a foul or an insult or a slight, they go to anger mode And when they go to anger mode, they go away from what they're allowed to do, what they're supposed to do, and they go away from the rules. Think about it. If you're conditioned to respond in a certain manner, when you go outside of that, you now know you're transgressing. So what they do is they go to these primal instinct. Boxers will instantly grab onto you. Why? Because you're not allowed to do that. That's their survival instinct inside the ring. It's their attack instinct out the ring. The kicks will fly. Grapplers, some of the most refined, delicate submission artists on the planet, will look like white belts at your local YMCA Karate Association, swinging and slapping because they're angry. They don't want this fight to be 10 rounds, 3 rounds, 5 rounds, a chess match, outwitting your opponent, asserting your will and dominance skill-wise. They want to hurt you, and they want to hurt you quick. This is one of the fundamental differences between a sporting competitive aspect and self-defense systems. If you're working within a self-defense paradigm, you've got 10 to 30 seconds to end that usually. Much beyond that, it's going to get increasingly dangerous, increasing likelihood of severe injury, or more and more people joining in and the situation morphing out of control. We've seen that in reality checks. Does this mean we can neglect the boxing skill set, the high-level grappling skill set, the high-level kicking skill set? No, quite the opposite. You need to have these very precise, very dangerous, very effective skills, but you need to be able to recall them under aggressive pressure situations that you do not expect. This is the emotional dimension. This is what's missing from most people's training. Emotional dimension in a boxing ring, in an MMA match, in a kickboxing match, in a karate match, you can prepare for that because you know what you're going to get and you know what to expect. You can rationalize it, you can think about it, you can picture it, and when you're there, it doesn't tend to differ too much because you know the rules and you know they know the rules. It's the ones you don't expect, those situations that arise unexpectedly. When the adrenaline kicks in, the fight, flight, and freeze responses take over. That's what we need to harness and control. Is there ways to do this? Absolutely there is. And there are several training methodologies, several training drills that are out there that can be suggested. I will be sharing these in the weeks and months on the Aftermath page. So if you're not following me already, I suggest you do so. Because I certainly don't want to give everything away in one video. I just want to open your eyes a little bit and make you consider some of these great truths about competitive fighters, about pressure testing. As important as it is, as vital as it is, as essential as it is, they always need one thing: the emotional dimension and the context that goes along with that. Thanks for joining us this week, guys. As always, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Please like, subscribe, smash those buttons down below to get us going in there. Please don't do it angrily. Use a nice refined technique to do so. And I will see you on the next reality check.